Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dreams Unlimited Travel Podcast. My name is John Magi, and I will be your host. And for this episode, we're going to continue our discussion of booking a Universal Orlando Resort vacation. This is actually part 3 of a 4-part series we are running for the entire month. For this episode, we're going to be talking about booking a package at Universal. So I'm so happy to be joined by our panel of experts. Agent Consultant for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Tracy Heinrichs.
Hi, everyone.
Agent for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Christy Bennett.
Hello.
Agent for Dreams Unlimited Travel, Allie Thomas Reeves.
Hello.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
I felt stumbly on that one, didn't I? Back in the production facility, we have our associate producer, Oliver Green.
Hello.
And our producer, Craig Williams.
Hello.
Excellent. Thank you guys for joining me.
And just to clarify, I am not an expert on Universal. I have visited. I help. Yeah, I play an expert on TV. So that's why we brought in reinforcements today.
Those of you who watch our show probably have noticed we have extra people. So that's because we needed them this week.
Yeah.
For this month and this bunch of shows that we're doing. So again, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about booking a Universal Orlando Resort package. As we started out every show, we just want to make sure people understand that we might be using nomenclature that's similar to a Disney vacation. We might be comparing to a Disney vacation. It's just an unfortunate side effect to Universal being in, the Central Florida area and being a major player in the vacation market. So we're going to try to make sure we clarify things as much as possible. So when we talk about a package at Disney, it includes certain components. It includes tickets. It includes your resort room. Sometimes there are some extras thrown in. Tell us what is included in a package for Universal.
Basically, you can customize your Universal package the same way you would a Disney package. You start off with usually an on-site resort, your passes. Then Universal also offers some dining plans, transfers. Depending on the time of the year that you're traveling, you can also do the hard-ticketed event for Halloween Horror Nights.
So you have to have tickets for it to be a package, similar to Disney. You can't have, but it could be any length of ticket with any length of stay.
Yes.
That's an important distinction. Is there any specific benefit to booking a package over a resort room stay with tickets added?
Well, sometimes they'll offer, if you're booking a package and you're getting a ticket, so it'll be like buy 2 days, get a third day free. It's not all the time, but that isn't something that they offer.
Usually if a discount comes up, it's only applicable to a package, so you want to make sure you have that package to take advantage of it. What else can you add to a Universal package?
They have a whole bunch of different offerings. You can add the Blue Man Group tickets at City Walk. You can add that right into your package, so it's paid for ahead of time. You can add in the luau that's offered at Royal Pacific. It can be added in ahead of time. You can add in mini golf at City Walk. You can add in, there's the City Walk meal and movie deal, which goes to their movie theater, and that's actually a really good deal. And that can all be added right into your package, so you can have all that kind of prepaid, and you don't have to worry about it once you're there.
And there's also a photo package or travel insurance.
Excellent.
And probably most important as well, or very important, is transportation. Because unlike Disney, there's not a free transportation service from the airport to the resort. So transportation is a consideration. So, you can add transfers either from the airport to the resort and back, or there's something unique to Universal called the Take Two transfer. And this actually is a transfer from Disney to Universal and then to the airport, or vice versa. So they've really realized that a lot of people are using Universal or see Universal as an add-on, and so they've capitalized on, let's get them here.
For a resort stay.
Absolutely.
We want you to come and stay in our resorts.
Yep.
So that's why we offer this transportation. What is the price? Do we have a price on the transportation?
Transportation, when
It's
you guys
$40 for the Take Two per person. Mm-hmm.
And then airport round trip is $35 or $20 one way, if you're just going back and forth to the airport. And it's Orlando International Airport, not Sanford.
Yes.
Important distinction.
Yes.
From a cost standpoint, not unreasonable. Depending on your party size, you might pay less for a cab.
Yeah, I think a taxi would probably run you, about 50-ish plus tax one way?
About that.
Or plus tax or plus gratuity, About, depending.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 50-ish.
And if you had, a large family, then of course you look at...
You could do like a private transfers might run
private
less.
transfers as well.
So again, not unreasonable, something that's certainly within the realm. Do we think that Universal eventually will go to a free transportation like Disney
I'm
does?
not sure because we've talked about the fact that these hotels are not Universal owned hotels. They're operated by Lowe's. So if Lowe's up until this point hasn't felt the need to offer a free airport transfer, I don't know that I would see Universal doing that. Craig, any insight on that?
That's the exact answer. I think if it was going to happen, it would have to be Lowe's stepping up and saying, we're going to cover all the costs to do everything to get them on property. I don't think Universal would really go to that system.
Right, because
So,
Universal
but then again-
benefits once they're on property.
Yeah.
But it's really Lowe's that's benefiting from the room resorts.
Exactly.
Getting there.
So I don't think either one of them are making enough off of the per get. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
Right.
they're kind of splitting those profit margins. So neither one of them are really making enough to step up to create that infrastructure and expense.
What else can be added to a package?
You can add a character breakfast at Universal. You don't have to be on a dining plan. You can literally just add the character breakfast. It's a buffet. You do have to have theme park admission to go to it. And the characters are from the Superstar Parade, and they vary. Like Despicable Me characters, characters from Hop. Those would be examples.
Has anybody done that? Anybody done the character breakfast?
I haven't done the one inside the park. That one's at Cafe La Bamba. So it goes basically throughout the rest of the day as being unused. It's only used for the breakfast in the morning. I have done different character dining experiences at the Lowe's hotels because pretty much except for Cabana Bay, they all offer a dining experience with characters. And they are a bit weird. Obviously, Universal characters are mixed because you have the gang from Scooby-Doo, you have the
Like
Simpsons.
mixed races,
You have-
mixed income levels. How are they mixed?
Well, just all these different properties.
man.
You have Despicable Me characters, you have Hop.
Okay, I got it.
So you have this
Which is
random
weird.
assortment of characters
Who do
that
you have?
Hop.
Hop.
You know that bunny from that movie, Hop?
Okay, you're not saying things that I understand.
You have like SpongeBob and all of them. So you actually, with some of the hotel ones, they even told us you have no idea who will show up. It's
Right.
really based around who is working that day.
Am I imagining
How
this?
tall they are.
Well, Scooby Doo's always the same height.
Am I imagining this? Did they at one point have a Marvel superhero meal?
Not since I've been
I thought I remember
at the
it.
park. I could believe that because the Marvel characters are in Marvel Superhero Island, so they may have at one point, but I'm not aware of that anymore. And like for the holidays, you have Grinchmas as well too. You have the Grinchmas breakfast experience. That's neat.
And so when we're adding these components to a package, they're not discounted. It's
No.
it's a convenience you're paying
Yes.
for by adding them to the package.
You can have it pre-booked and prepaid
Right.
for.
We got a little bit ahead of ourselves. What is the deposit for a package? What are the terms of?
Deposit is
Oh.
$50 per. So if you're a group of 5, it'd be $250. If you're a group of 4, it's $200. So it's a little different than Disney, as it varies by how many are in the room. So if you have a single, it's only going to be $50.
And when is final payment due?
It's still due 45 days in
45.
advance. And it's totally refundable up till then.
Up to 45 days.
Yep.
Excellent. What other dining plans can you add? I know they have other dining plans at Universal.
They do. They have it's called the Universal Dining Plan, and that includes your one table service, one quick service. It includes one snack and then one non-alcoholic beverage.
And that plan, can that only be added if you're staying on site?
Yes, that
Right,
is
okay.
exclusive to being on site, and it does not include one major thing: any hotel restaurants. So this is going to be only in the theme parks and
right.
some of City Walk. Not all of City Walk restaurants are included. So Emerald's not included, Hard Rock restaurants not included, and then no hotel again.
What do you get? Do you get a voucher?
Yes, you get vouchers, and so like you'd be able to go inside Universal. There's 2 table service options. Inside Islands of Adventure, there's 2 table service options. So there's not as many options for sure, which is why it really isn't that popular.
Yeah, so it comes back to the fact that Universal doesn't own these restaurants that
Yeah.
are in the hotels in City Walk.
Right.
So they are not offering any kind of a dining promotion. They're offering it for their theme park experiences.
Yeah, and it's kind of a mess even beyond that because, like Disney, if you get the dining plan there, it's all in your My Disney Experience system and everything's nice. With these, as you said, they're vouchers. It's these little plastic cards that say Universal Dining Plan on them. And So let's say you want the dining plan for 4 days. You don't buy it for one card that will have 4 days worth on them. They will give you 4 individual cards
Per person.
and if you get the like the one with sit down and stuff, the expensive one, then you also start getting into, okay, well, this will cover your quick service, this will cover your sit down meal. It is an absolute mess.
So you need one of those accordion wallets to
Yes.
carry with you, so you
Pretty
can sort
much.
out your.
I would say though that, here's the deal. Disney is so much on the forefront of that, of the whole dining and the number
Well,
of
but
credits
Disney
and how to
also
keep
owns
track
the
of-
whole thing.
Right, exactly.
So Disney is giving you one package where you check in, and that person at check-in is giving you a key. It used to be a room key, and now it's a magic band, and that accesses everything.
However, this is World. I mean, you talk about other
Right.
Disney theme parks, and it's different. We
Yeah,
went to-
Disneyland Paris is completely different.
Paris is, you get the little booklet of the coupons
Yes,
you rip
I think
out.
Disneyland Paris went to the Universal
They did.
school of how to do that because it's the same.
The main concern with Universal is that the food is actually priced very well compared to Disney and
Right.
some of the sit-down restaurants. So with Disney, everyone made the game out of it as how can I get the best deal out of the dining plan? I'm going
Right.
to go in, I'm ordering the most expensive steak and the best dessert, and that's how I'll get my money back out of it.
And then you realize how big your gratuity is because you ordered
Yeah.
everything most expensive.
With this one at Universal, like I went into Vivo whenever I tried out the dining plan. Even if I would have gotten the most expensive item on the menu with what we had for counter service in the day with that, it was still way under what we actually paid for the card, because all the restaurants that they offer anymore, they have really done well with lowering the prices to make
Right.
them more affordable. And it's just all around, it's not good. You don't get your own separate dessert off the dessert menu. Like at Vivo, they brought you this tray of cookies. Said, here you go. And then you still had to pay gratuity on the end of that, too. It wasn't included already in the card that you bought. I hate their dining plan.
One of the unique things about their dining plan, though, is that you can add it for the number of days you want it.
Yes.
Whereas at Disney World, it has to coincide with the number of nights you're staying. You don't have the
Right.
option.
Yes.
And at Universal, if you knew you had 2 all-day park days, you could, if you wanted to, prepay for those 2 days, and you've got
Yeah.
it prepaid in advance.
What is
Absolutely.
the cost of the dining plan?
It is $59.63 per adult, and then $20.22 for 9 and under.
Kind of on the expensive side for
And then your
the
gratuities.
limitations
extra.
that you have for sure.
Yeah.
What is it available for at City Walk?
City Walk, you can do the Mexican restaurant, which I cannot pronounce.
Antojitos.
Thank you. And then Bob Marley, Margaritaville, Red Oven Pizza, Vivo Italian, Cowfish, and NBC Sports Grill for lunch and dinner, and then Pat O'Brien's has dinner.
Okay.
All the
There's some
options
good choices, though.
for
I
table
think.
service or lunch, dinner. There's
Right.
no breakfast.
So there's some options, and depending on the restaurant, I think there would be better value at some than others.
Yes.
I think that's fair
I
to
mean,
say.
like, going
And the
to-
fact that you can get it for a certain number of days does appeal to some people.
Yeah, I mean, we went to NBC Sports Grill and we spent like $85 on dinner. So, I mean, there
Right.
you would get your money's
You
worth.
get your value. And there's other, so that's the dining plan, and you have to be staying on site in order to get
Yes.
that dining, which is kind of funny. You have to be staying on site, but you can't use it at an on-site hotel.
I know.
That's one of those disconnects we talked about. There's other dining plans at Universal?
The best value one that Universal kind of promotes is the quick service, and it actually is a pretty good value. It gives you 1 quick service meal, 1 snack, and then 1 beverage. And with your quick service meal, you also get a non-alcoholic beverage. So it's $23.42 for an adult, and then $14.90 for a child. And that you can literally just use. You can, again, not at the resorts, but if it's like a theme park day. We've spent more than that at quick service, and then you're also getting your snack and an extra drink.
I think for that quick service plan, the best use of that is if you do have older children,
Right.
And mom and dad are going to go here with maybe the younger ones, and the older kids are going to split. Mom and dad can purchase those little cards and be like, "Here's your food."
Oh, so you can have 1 day of the regular dining plan and maybe
Yeah.
2 days of quick
You
service.
can, and you can actually purchase
Oh,
that in
okay.
the park as well.
And another thing too, you don't have to purchase it for everyone on your party. So
Right.
if you have like, 4 adults and 2 of you are like, we usually share, because I usually, like, if my mom's with me, we'll always share a quick service. So we could just purchase one
Right.
and share it. You don't have to purchase it for everyone on the room.
So part of the nice thing about it is there's flexibility.
Yes.
Yes.
So sort of build your own package, build your own vacation.
And it's the same thing with park tickets as well. Everybody doesn't have to be on the same park ticket.
No, they don't, which is really nice.
Which is really nice as well.
Yes.
You mentioned the luau. How much is the luau?
The luau, I believe it's $73.49 for an adult, and then $37.28 for a child.
So again, no discount for being as part of a package.
No.
You're just buying that and adding it onto
The
your
nice
package.
thing with the luau is it does include some alcoholic beverages, and it does include your taxi and gratuity. So that would all be prepaid.
Now, I know we had a discussion before we started recording that Craig had been to the luau.
Yeah.
So we'd like to talk to you about, do you think the luau is worth it? for a
Absolutely
package?
not.
Absolutely not.
No, and not in a. We wanted to like it. Like we really wanted to enjoy it. I love Hoop-Dee-Doo review over at Walt Disney World because I like entertainment while I'm eating. It's nice. I sit in front of a TV while I eat at home, so it's like a grander version of it. And wow, I sound pathetic.
You do sound pathetic.
And but then also on top of that, I enjoy the unlimited free drinks. It's how I feel like I can get my value out of something whenever I can be like, okay, well, I can keep drinking over and over again. This one, the entertainment was mediocre. The setup of the venue I would consider terrible. And then the food and drinks were taken away so quickly. Like we were obviously there working, but if we would have been there as guests, we maybe could have had 4 drinks, and that's if we were sitting there and really throwing them back quickly. You could really only get like maybe 2 in if you drank at an average pace, and
You do not drink at an average pace.
I do not drink it, but I felt, whereas Hoop-Dee-Doo, I've gone and, against better recommendations by servers and doctors and the police, I can throw back
Your
10
mom.
sangrias and walk out with a red mouth and smiling like crazy.
I find that
So do
though,
you
that-
think the entertainment is actually good at Hoop-Dee-Doo, or is it just because you can throw back 10 drinks?
Exactly.
I don't know. I've never
They're
been
the
so.
best.
I can't remember it, to be honest.
Right, that's what it begs the question.
I know they have good
Shut
cornbread,
up.
so
Because that's the only thing he's had a chance to actually taste.
He just drinks and eats the bread.
This is true, though, of the Polynesian luau. The Polynesian luau, at least the few times I've gone, it's like you got to eat and drink right away.
Yeah.
Because then they snatch everything out from in front of you, and then things happen that I don't care for. But it's the same. Like people have said, I want another drink, and it's like a hassle to get another drink. So
they did have their big thing there is they have a suckling pig, and so they put the pig that they roasted right out
this
on the
is
table so you can see
Polynesian, or
it.
this is Universal.
At Universal, yeah. Back at Royal Pacific, they do a suckling pig during the luau, and then they pull the pork right from it all there, and it is incredible.
It was very
Yeah.
good. I would say I was at the same luau that Craig was at. We were covering it together at that time, and I wasn't as disappointed as Craig was. I found it to be enjoyable. There was just a few things they needed to change. I thought the food was very good. My biggest thing was the bar being took away, so that's something we're definitely in agreement on. As far as it goes with the entertainment, it was okay, but it wasn't of the level I would expect for the price. That was my biggest thing. Like if this was maybe like, $15, $20 less per person, because you've got to remember and factor in it does include your gratuity. So, do remember that when you're paying the price. But if it was like $15, $20 less, I'd say it'd probably be more in line per head. It'd be more in line with what I'd expect. But it was just slightly too high. That's all I'd say on that.
So none of the dining plans include the gratuity.
Correct.
So you're paying in advance for the dining plan, but you still have to have a cash out when you're
Just
there.
like Disney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What else is available? You mentioned Blue Man Group.
Yes, Blue Man Group tickets. There's 4 different levels of Blue Man Group. I've been to the Blue Man Group show. It wasn't for me. It's kind of like a rock concert, music. There's no talking. I kind of got bored. But it's for some people, for sure. It's very interesting. It's very unique, I will
Weird.
This
say.
is something I actually think that we hear a lot of. What is there for a boy to do?
Definitely.
Definitely that.
This is a boy
Definitely.
thing.
Yes.
A little bit on the gross humor, maybe. A little pushing the envelope
I think
a
it
little bit
depends.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of it's, if you take your, depending on the age of the child, some of it's over their head, so they won't understand it anyway. The So
But there's also, is there a meal deal with Blue Man Group or am I?
no,
Okay.
that was a movie deal. Yeah, Blue Man Group's just tickets. They have like the premium tickets, which are your most expensive. They start at 106, and those are priced based on time of year. Those are going to be your center front, not in the front though. They're actually a little bit behind because they have a section called the poncho section, and that comes with a poncho, and you will get
You need it.
painted, and you will have paint on you, and you will be a mess when you leave. And then there's tier 1 and tier 2, and tier 1 is going to be
How
towards.
much you cry over the mistake you've made to go see Blue Man Group?
Yeah, that's where I was sitting, and I was like, I had a Groupon, so it wasn't so bad.
So the travel agent who's trying to get you to buy the package and add this on. Just put a
It's
note,
a little.
the Groupon.
I've only added it on to one person, and they were not impressed either. So it's hard to sell something when you really aren't.
I also think Blue Man Group is a commitment,
Yes.
and it's hard to commit to that ahead of time.
I think so
Out of
too.
their vacation.
It's a little bit like Lanuba tickets, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
people think they want to do everything, and you kind of hold them back a little because if you make that commitment, a family of 4 just made a commitment of $400 for tickets, and then you get here, you get at Universal, and you realize we kind of don't want to make that commitment now.
Yeah.
There's
So-
other things we'd rather do. Or,
Exactly, and you realize that things take a little bit longer. You're a little more tired than you thought. I just think it's a lot for a family to make that kind of a commitment prior to coming, especially if they haven't been before,
Absolutely.
especially if they're first timers. What about that movie and
Before you do that, what was the price of Blue Man Group?
The tier 2s are $63.90. Those are off to the side towards the back, and then tier 1 is $79.88 starting at, and those are going to be middle towards the back.
Excellent. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The City Walk meal and movie deal. I used to work at City Walk, and we sold this. It was our top thing that we sold. It's so I always recommend it, especially like if you're maybe adults traveling and the parks close early at night. It's a really good option. It's $21.95, regardless of age, and it includes your movie ticket, and you can choose any movie. If you do 3D or IMAX, you have to pay an upcharge at the theater, and you can dine at Bob Marley, Margaritaville, the Fusion Sushi and Sake Bar that's upstairs, and then Pat O'Brien's. Each place will have like a prefix menu to choose from, so you can't choose everything. But they have a lot of options on it. So it's a really good deal. $21.95.
Is this a seating thing? Do you have to be seated at a certain time or before or after the theater?
No, you just go to the restaurant, and then normally you would choose your movie time first based on that, and then go to the restaurant before or after.
Excellent.
and if you don't add this to your package, but then decide when you're here you want it, it can be purchased separately as well.
Yeah, you can purchase it at guest services at City Walk.
So the biggest thing with the package is that it's not necessarily a cost savings over what you can purchase while you're here. It's a convenience. It's the
Absolutely.
fact that you've made some plans, you've prepaid, so that you're not, sometimes on vacation it feels like you're laying out cash all the time.
Yes.
So it's just having a lot of that prepaid before you come.
When I travel, I'm such a budgeter. Like, I want everything as much as I can paid in advance, because when I get there, I don't want to think I'll spend too much on vacation.
Right.
Because I'm on vacation, I don't think about it. So if I've already prepaid it, I kind of know where I stand.
What else? You mentioned the golf. There's a
There is.
Golf
it's good
add-on.
if you have like little kids with you. They have the Hollywood Drive-In Golf, and it's 18. You get 18 holes, so you get to go to both sides of the putt, and it's $15.96 for an adult or $13.83 for a child. It's just a nice add-on. If the parks close at 6 o'clock, and you're like, what are we gonna do? And you have kids, so you're not gonna go to the City Walk bars and clubs. It's something nice to do. It's right off of City Walk.
Has anybody done that mini golf? Is
Yeah,
it-
I don't believe it's actually both sides. Each theme has 18 holes.
Oh, okay, I was wrong.
So, yeah, I've done it. It's
Is it specially themed? Is there something special about it?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
themed.
Yeah.
It's
It looks
it's
fantastic.
it actually would fit in perfectly at Cabana Bay because it's like the retro 50s. It's monsters on one side and then science fiction on the other side. And no, it's very popular, especially at night. It's beautiful. Holes aren't that hard, so I would compare it to like going over to Winter Summerland at Walt Disney World, but no, kids enjoy it. It's a little overpriced too. But
the
they
problem I have
coupons.
if you're staying at the resort, I don't feel it's convenient because you've really got to go all the way back out to pretty much the parking garage.
Unless you're staying at Cabana Bay. Because they're dropping
right on
you
the
off
way.
at the parking
Yeah.
garage.
It's right on the way.
That's
and
right.
it is expensive for pop-up, but if you go to iDrive, it's going
Right.
to price the same. So in that touristy area, you're looking at the same, but you can
Right.
stay right. If
Exactly.
you're staying there, you don't have to go to iDrive.
Right. You know, to get out in your car and drive and go away type of thing. What else? What else can be added to a package? We mentioned a photo package.
There is. They have a photo package. It is $95.84, and it includes 3 consecutive days of digital prints. So all of those lovely pictures they take of you screaming your head off on the roller coasters, or if you're getting meet and greets with some of the characters and they take a picture of you, you have unlimited digital downloads. You do get discounts if you would like to purchase prints. You get 1 free 5x7 or 8x10 that you can pick up that day.
How do you determine what's your start date? If you have 3 consecutive days and you're there 4 or 5.
You have another card to
Oh
carry.
my gosh, this is confusing.
This one comes with a lanyard, though. They've thought of it. You have a little lanyard, and they have a little punch.
And so you say, okay, I'm going to start it Tuesday, and that's my next 3 days.
And how do the photos end up on your card? Like when you go on the ride, you have to scan it?
Yes. You have to go over to the digital, to the card, to the photo.
And then I'm guessing they give you some kind of a release so that once you get home, you could print those digital photos.
The way that it was explained to me is you can email them and digitally share them. So I took that as to believe you could, like,
There is
the
no release to
Kodak-
print them.
Right.
Interesting.
So there's no such thing as a photo pass photographer at Universal? Nobody's standing
They do
around?
have people, when you go to the character meet and greets, they do have people.
They do all around the parks now. They started recently adding them because they just rebranded. Before it was all Photo Connect, and now it's My Universal Photos, and
Yes.
they're trying to get that push onto it. Universal photographers were always super obnoxious as soon as you would walk in the gates. Come on, let me take your picture. Let me take your picture. And so I always just assumed that they were terrible photographers because of how annoying they were. They might be good. I've
See,
seen
I just
some of
assume
the
they're working
photos.
piecework. They get paid per picture.
Yes, if
But
they're
you just
that
assume that they're
aggressive.
terrible at their.
No, I believe they are also commission based on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That would make
Or at
more
least
sense.
minimums. They have to make minimums
Right.
and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
They're
So
very
can
pushy.
those be added to your special around your neck lanyard card? Those pictures?
Yeah, all
It's-
pictures are now together.
All pictures that you get taken
Okay.
in the park, yes. So it's similar to
Right.
Disney, but
It's substantially cheaper than Disney's
Yes.
equivalent. And I know at Universal they've got the automated photo stations now as well, where you
Yeah.
can scan your card. So I can see the value in it. It would definitely get used if you're there for 3 days at least. If you go out of your way and make sure you hit up all the spots, which there's very rarely lines at.
Right.
You could get the value out of the photo. What's it called? Not photo pass. I keep
My Universal Photos.
My Universal Photos. There we go.
Get it right. Or else they're going to come after you. What about special events? We mentioned on another show, really the only hard ticketed event is Halloween Horror Nights. Can that be added to a package?
oh yes.
Yes, it
Okay.
can.
Oh yes, we did Halloween Horror Nights last year, against my better judgment. It was terrifying. It was absolutely, don't laugh. It was terrifying. My daughter turned 13 and she said, "I'm a big girl. I'm gonna go to Halloween Horror Nights," and she almost fainted several
That's what
times.
happened my first time. I said, I'm a big girl.
Exactly. You know,
I'm wearing my
put your big girl panties and you're ready to go. Yes, Halloween Horror Nights. You can go simply, or you can go massively extravagant, which I'm sure Craig has. But ticket prices start at $55.99, and they go all the way up to $104.99. It starts September the 16th, goes all the way to Halloween. It is usually on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They do have, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mondays and Tuesdays, they do not have it except for actual Halloween, which is on a Monday. One thing to definitely note, when it is Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Studios closes at 5. They have to completely transform
Right.
the park, and they do a whole big reopening, and that's when it begins. That's when I suggest being there. If you are going to do Halloween Horror Nights, I don't know about you, Craig, but I suggest getting there right when it opens. Because it's
Thanks for your input.
I agree.
well, it is a mass of people that take off running to the haunted houses. I did not experience any of the houses. We did.
So is the price range based on the number of houses that you
no,
can go
it's based
in?
on which day you
Oh,
go.
day. Yeah.
It's
The
all
close-
based on the days.
Yeah, the closer to Halloween you get, obviously the
The
tier
price.
price system.
And
Yeah.
weekends.
Goes up.
Yeah, and weekends. Obviously,
And so
yeah.
for that price that you're paying to get in one night, It's just kind of as many houses as you have time to get into.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially.
And that could be 2 or 3, depending.
Depending when you go.
Yeah,
Right.
it's on a very
And how
busy
quick you
night.
run out.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Saturday before Halloween,
Right.
you know, you might be lucky if you get 2 or 3 houses done. You can always add on Express as well too for extra charge, and then you can pretty much make it through everything, give or take. Again,
And
like,
is that a separate express just for the Halloween
Yes.
Horror Night
Yes.
portion?
Yes.
And that starts at $79.99 and it goes all the way up to $139.99, depending on which day you're adding that to the ticket that you've already bought. So it's
So this is an additional
Very expensive.
77 plus the ticket for Halloween Horror Nights. So
Yes.
it's very expensive.
it is very expensive.
What else is open during Halloween Horror Nights? Is it worth it to do it kind of like a Mickey's a very scary holiday party merry?
Just
That
about
is
to.
exactly what they call it.
Kind of fell apart. Is it so? There are other rides open and
Yes.
shows.
Yes. Yes, most of the attractions are open except for the children's areas are not, because obviously there's no small children there, and they do have extra shows that they do put on for terrifying reasons.
Would you consider the parks to be quiet those evenings, Craig? As far if people aren't doing houses, if they were there for attractions.
Yeah, you're looking at like 15-minute waits, 20 maybe if it's really busy. At the beginning of HHN, like in early or late September-ish, early October, the rides won't be that busy. But once you start getting into the really heavy crowds, that's whenever people will get tired of wanting to wait 90, 120 minutes in line for the houses. So then they'll go on the other rides and stuff to try to feel like they get something out of it. One thing that we share every now and then, and I guess I'll do it on this show too, we mentioned get there early to get in. You can actually stay in the park and skip out on that whole closing sweep like we were talking about. There's usually 4 designated spots all around the park. As long as you have your entry into Universal for the day, and then you can prove you have your Halloween Horror Nights entry, you can get put into one of the corrals, which will usually be like around a bar. Like my favorite one is outside Finnegan's, because you can just keep going in and drinking, waiting for the event to start, and then you will
Pattern,
get
ladies?
I am seeing this.
you will get early access to usually at least 1 or 2 houses because of it. And so while
Because you're
everyone is
already
waiting
in the park,
You're
you're
already-
closer
So
to it.
yeah, you're halfway there.
and it will open up early for you too. So let's say the whole event opens to guests at 6. They'll usually let you into these first houses at like 6 o'clock. So that way you have a half an hour heads up before everyone else starts
Did you just
coming
say
in.
6 twice?
Yes.
Did I?
Okay,
Sorry,
good.
if it opens at 6:30, they'll open the house for you at 6 o'clock. So you have a half an hour start over everyone else. And I've done it before where I've gotten 4 houses in with when the event's technically
Wow.
only been started for about 15, 20 minutes.
And does the event
So,
go to midnight then, or?
Yeah, how long?
it varies. Some nights it is. Some nights it's 11. Some nights it's midnight. It can go
I
all
can
the
see
way.
it go later.
Yeah, it
on
can
weekends.
go very late depending
2
on how
a.m.
busy
I think
it is.
the
Yeah.
Saturday before Halloween goes till 2.
Yeah.
And last year, for the first time, they opened up Wizarding World, so you were able to go into Gringotts and ride all of those attractions, which we walked right on Gringotts.
I'm almost thinking, do you think for some folks who might not want to do the haunted houses, is this something instead of a day park pass? Could you say,
Could, yeah.
I'm going to do this instead?
We didn't go to any houses. We rode rides and
I think you
Did
do
the
have
scare
to
zones.
Keep in mind when you enter, it can still be scary. So you're not going to
Oh,
take
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like there's still going to be.
yes, you have to walk
The
through scare
chainsaws and-
zones to get anywhere. And these people, they just get all up in your
do
face,
that.
and it's very scary.
Yeah, if your priorities though are thrill rides, you still get to do Men in Black, Simpsons, The Mummy, Gringotts, Rip Ride Rocket, and Transformers.
Transformers.
So you get to do all of the big ones. So it's worth it to
Certainly an
just.
option.
I think
So-
there's a lot of value in Halloween Horror Nights. I know we spoke a lot about how busy it can be, but you shouldn't let that really put you off, because every time I've been, it's always been busy, and I've only managed to fit in 2 or 3 houses. But paired in with the scare zones where you can walk around and experience it, as well as the shows and the other entertainment that's going on, I always felt fulfilled, like I got my money's worth. So I wouldn't let the larger crowds put you off of Halloween Horror Nights, because there's still an awful lot to experience there.
I know there are special tours available, sort of where you can go and be guaranteed certain houses or things you can say.
Yeah.
Can you put those on a package? Do we know?
I wouldn't
They were
think
not
so.
listed.
No.
The only
No.
extra for Halloween Horror Nights is the Express Pass that can be
Right.
added to a
Gotcha.
package that
Right.
I've seen.
And those fill up very quickly.
They do fill up very quickly. Yeah.
So you can just call and add that on.
Excellent.
Yeah, but they do the hotel package specifically for Horror Nights now too, if that's your primary goal of coming there. So with the packages, you get 3 nights at a hotel, 2-day park-to-park tickets, and then 1 night of Halloween Horror Nights with it as well too. So if you're going specifically for that, maybe not so much other park stuff, it might be of value.
And my assumption here is, again, it's not a reduced package. This is not a
This is a
discounted
convenience package.
Right. This is
Yeah,
just
it's
everything lumped
convenience.
together.
Right.
What have they offered in the past as far as discounts for packages?
The one that we discussed earlier, the Stay More, Play More, they have offered the buy 2 days of tickets, get the 3rd day free.
Those are the main two that
Those-
I've seen.
And one thing to note for Halloween Horror Nights, you cannot book just 1 night resort stay. They have, during Halloween Horror Nights, they have a minimum 2-night stay.
Oh, okay.
So
And I
that's
think
something
too,
else.
as much as we say it's convenient, Halloween Horror Nights sells out pretty much every night. So
Yes.
it's also, you can't just show up and be like, I'm going to go tonight. It's probably sold
No, you're
out.
not.
So you should include it in your package if you plan to go.
An Express will sell out. I also forgot they do have an exclusive entry for hotel guests specifically, up until around like 8 o'clock usually every night. So if you're staying on property, you can kind of bypass the line. If you've ever seen the regular line to get in around the Universal Arch.
So is that thing
it's a
all the way to the
madness.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
over to the right where we went in for Dizzapalooza.
Dizzapalooza.
Yeah, it's that entrance.
What do we know about package discounts in the past? Is it like free dining at Disney where it's usually a certain time of year? Or is it we don't know when it's going to come
No,
out?
and package discounts are so few and far between
Yeah.
at Universal, again, because you're talking about a disconnect. You're talking about Lowe's owning the hotels, Universal owning the Universal property, or the Universal components to that package. So discounts really, it's just not the same system.
Right.
They do have Florida resident discounts and annual pass discounts. So they always have those at the resorts for you, which is nice.
Excellent. Anything else we want to mention specifically about packages? Did we miss anything?
Insurance is
good.
$38 per person, no matter what age. And you can cancel up to 24 hours in advance, and you would get a refund for that.
You know, I hate to say this, but don't problems happen within the 24 hours you're going to travel?
Often.
Yeah.
Of course.
Not always.
Not always,
Not
but
always.
Often.
yeah. It's a little
No,
bit of a tricky
Just-
situation.
is it? I'll ask that question of myself later.
Note to self. Ask a question of myself.
Yep.
Note to self.
What else? Anything else we've left out? I think we've
those
covered
are
it all.
all.
I think we've
the
really,
add-ons.
we've covered. We did. When you had asked about different events, there is Mardi Gras, but it is free and it is included, and they do have concerts. The concerts are free, and depending on who the performers are, it can get completely packed out. I'm sure Craig has been there when it is.
Kelly Clarkson.
Matchbox 20 was crazy too. They were here. That's free, but they do a great parade where they throw the beads, and it's not for that reason, Tracy.
Again, ask myself a question later.
Mental note to self.
And then the holiday season in Universal is, I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
I love it. I love the Grinchmas. I love the Who's walking around, and it's a lot of fun.
And you can pre-book the Grinchmas breakfast can be added into a package.
yes.
So
You
I-
guys did that. You loved it.
I have actually never done it.
Oh.
I've only watched the video of it of way back whenever Pete and Teresa did it years and years ago.
Oh, all right.
Which apparently they're showing at Universal Training now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Is it when you get
To
awkward
show
people
what
like
happens
this?
whenever you have a bad guest experience. No. I'm joking on
Picture
that. No.
a Pete with a line, circle around a line through it back in the training. No, they loved it. They thought it
Yeah.
was great. They loved the Grinch interaction.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Just to sort of piggyback onto what you're saying, we want to point out the fact that for Universal, pretty much everything except Halloween Horror Nights is included.
yes.
There's very few park additions. There's very few hard ticketed events
Right.
that you have
Correct.
to worry about.
Correct.
And that's not to say that these are events that are very basic because they're free. They're really not. They've got some really, really good stuff. It's actually amazing how much effort they put into something that's included in your park admission. So if you're thinking about coming around a certain type of year where these events are going to take place, make sure you do hit those events and make sure you're in that time bracket, because they're very, very impressive.
They are. They are.
Absolutely. Great.
So we can just kind of summarize packages.
You and your summary.
I know, I'm all about the summary.
I want to summarize everything.
Basically, with a package, it's not always a cost savings. Often with universal packages, they're a convenience, having components added. I mean, things like transportation, tickets. These are things that almost are a necessity if you're coming and you're not an annual pass holder. So these are things that you want to have together. You want to have your transfers figured out ahead of time. Adding things like dining plans, there's a lot of flexibility in that, other tickets. But for the most part, a universal package is a convenience
Yes.
more so than a cost
Yes.
savings.
Yep.
And not to say that you're paying more, because usually you're not.
No.
No.
It's just that
Right.
there's not a big savings involved.
Excellent. Great. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for all your help in helping me understand packages better. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, everybody at home, for watching and listening. We hope you have a great week, and we hope you have a great vacation.